Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ram, and today I'm here to talk about discussion number 4. In this discussion, I'm going to talk through chapter 9 and chapter 10 of our class. On chapter 9, Sutherland, this article explains why human, despite being capable of strong reasoning, so often think and act in illegal, biased, and self-defending ways, right? So the author explains irrational behavior is the norm, not the exception, and it affects every ordinary people, experts, professionals, and the industry leaders, right? He tried to break down that irrationality into multiple sections here, so which I'm going to talk through each of them. The first one is in-group and out-group biases. It explains how people help. For example, we all have that kind of a scenario, right? We tend to help people of the same race and ethnicity. Maybe you find some kind of a commonality on between you and the other person who is on the same race, same ethnicity, so which is very common bias for the human being, right? The second one is the evidence and conformity. So evidence is like we can take an example. For example, the industry leader makes some certain decisions, right? And uh, we tend to agree with that even though we know it's not the right, or it's something off with that decision, right? Because we kind of have that kind of biases built within our uh, uh, thinking process, right? And conformity is like uh, we all might have that kind of experience, right? Sometimes we kind of try to change our thoughts or change our decision based off what the majority of rest of the other crowd has their opinion on that same topic. So we change behavior to match the crowd, right? That's the conformity. And there's the other one called drive and emotions. Emotions like love, anger, fear, stress, everything contribute to some kind of irrational decisions, right? uh, so this is very common. The other one is ignoring evidence. For example, an engineer try to ignore some of the test data from the test facility because that data finding contradicts with the his expectations, and he don't want to accept that. That's very common, right? There is a song fallacy, which is one more example uh, that talks about how we don't want to accept something that's wrong because we have invested so much time and effort on that specific uh, task, right? So that's a sunk cost fallacy. The other one is overconfidence. This might be the most common one we all might have encountered in our day-to-day basis, right? There's a human nature. We constantly overrate our knowledge, skills, and control over the outcomes. So this is a example of overconfidence, and we do see that often in our workplace, school, and everywhere, right? And the next one that is on this topic is the mental shortcuts. People usually try to go with the rule of thumb, right? That means uh, instead of trying to dig into some kind of deep dive into the specific topic, they try to go with the rule of thumb or like a very generalized case, and oftentimes it may not work on different scenarios or different projects, right? So these are some of the breakdowns on this Sutherland article. Now I'm going to talk to the chapter 10 common and clean article. So these articles talk about when experts talks about when experts trust their gut feelings and when they should be skeptical, right? So it says we should only rely to our intuition in two cases. The first one is the given circumstances or the given situation follows the predicted rules, and the second one is you have practiced that same thing a lot and you have gotten enough feedback that you can make a decision out of that. So I would like to explain some of the example on the trust on your gut first, on trust your guts versus do not trust your guts. Trust your gut. For example, the mechanic who has been working in a mechanic shop for about 20 years, for example, right? He can easily detect the car timing belt issue when he heard that noise, right? Because he had been listening that for 1,000 times over his career, right? So that's an easy trust your gut feeling example. So the second one, do not trust your gut. uh, these kind of things should apply when you some situation or some given circumstances is really new and unique, like for example the new project for an engineer, which is completely different than some other previous project, right? So in those cases you cannot be very sure about the timing of the project and the scope of the project. So in those cases you don't trust your guts, right? You're not sure to whether to believe on your uh, expectations or not. So those are some circumstances. So both of these articles seems to be really helpful for us to uh, uh, make a good rational decisions, and making sure we take into account all these factors before making any decision for our work, for our personal life, and for our organization benefit. So I really enjoyed those articles. Thank you for listening my discussion. Thank you.